Hi, the last chapter, chapter 11, the end was a massive row. Now, this is chapter 11. I might have to do it in two bits as well because some of the chapters are extra long. So you'll have two episodes to listen to on the same day. I go back to school and Miss Harris has posted a list of the class groupings on the bulletin board. As predicted, I'm in the lower class. We'll have to move out of the third floor classroom. I'm so bleached through with shame that I don't linger at the wall to see who's with me. I just go straight to my old desk and look through the folder of test papers and have been dropped off at my desk. Maeve. The part of this exam that is not plagiarized is promising. Have more faith in yourself next time. H. Harris, in other words. The more I stare at Miss Harris's note, the less I notice the other girls in the room. The chanting, the noise. I'm so detached and miserable that I barely recognize the tears sliding onto the page of my own. Where's Fiona? I look up and Lily is clearly not having a good day either. Her face is red and her hair is trying desperately to escape its tight plait. She went home, I say, drying my face with my sleeve. It's not as if I need to. Lily clearly wasn't or hasn't noticed that I've been crying. She wasn't feeling well, I finished. I'm in the lower class, Lily says furiously. With you. Oh, Lil, I'm sorry. I know how hard you worked, and you still go to Galloway. Stop, she says, and then sits down. I don't want to hear it. We are silent for a few minutes before class begins. The gap where Fiona usually sits, yawning like a chasm between us. A few hours later, we are walking down the hill together. The only sound is Lily's shoulder bag bumping off her leg. I should tell you something, I say limply, about where Fiona went today. What? I did something really bad, I begin. I know. No, that's a no-no, I mean to Fiona. Okay, I used my gifts to cheat off her in the exam, to read her mind while she was answering her papers. I knew it was a dumb thing to do, but I panicked, and then it was just too easy that I kept on doing it. Lily listens and then nods. Okay, and I didn't think about how that information wasn't mine to steal and that Fiona had worked to put that stuff in her brain. You know, it didn't just land there by accident. And when I got caught, Harris thought we were both in on it and Fiona's getting detention too. That's bad, Lily replies. She shouldn't get punished. I know, I said sorry so many times, but she's just so mad at me. She said I jeopardized her scholarship, which I didn't even think about. She won't stay mad, Lily says. Fiona's too busy to dwell on stuff like being mad. To my utter shock, I realized that Lily is, in her own way, consoling me. Really? I asked, hungry for kindness. Do you think? I do, she says, evenly. She notices a fallen leaf stuck to her shoe, picks it up and examines it. I don't think it's such a big deal. Why did you? No? She traces her finger along the vein of the leaf, following the stalk to the tip. The way people have set up the world, It isn't fair. Why should you only do well if you are good at taking tests? I tried all summer to be good at taking tests. I tried to play the game, and look where it got me. I still can't do it. I still can't keep all the stuff in my head. She passes the leaf to me as if I'm going to be equally as fascinated by it. I examine it to be polite. It's still green, slightly yellow at the edges. A sure thing, a sign of autumn is coming. They want us to do what they can do, but they can't do what we do. We don't know what it's like to be a river. She glares at the ground furiously. I'm almost sure that I can see tears pricking at her eyes. I wonder how crying works with Lily now, how the water in her body reacts to the electrical currents, and whether she's being slightly fried alive at all times. Nuala thinks our gifts are meant to teach us something specific, I say as gently as I can. What do you think the electricity is teaching you? And why do you think yours is so much more intense than ours? I've wondered this about Lily for so long, or for a long time, but asking seems rude, like asking a girl how her boobs got so big so suddenly. She's silent for a long moment. I don't know. It is if it's teaching me anything, she says, but I think because of my ear, when I was the river, I was still me. I had my hearing aid in. This little battery. There was this buzzing, this heat. I think the water and the hearing aid fuse together and make this current or something. If I had 100 years to think about it, I wouldn't have come up with this solution. I remember in that second, why I fell in love with Lily when I was 5. She thinks about things in a way no one else does. The fact that she can't do well on a test is just further proof of how stupid tests are. Do you miss the river still? Yes, she says flatly, but I can accept the part of my life is over now. That part of my life is over now. That I am a loss for what to say, but I want to sound supportive. That is very adult, I think. We walk on. I am, for some reason, still holding the leaf. If I could do what you can do, she says, I probably would have done the exact same thing. Fiona and Rue don't know what it is like. School comes easily to them. They think it's just about knuckling down, working hard and concentrating. They have no solution for when you do all those things and it still doesn't work. Lily is talking to me with something close to warmth for the first time in almost 2 years. Lily O'Callaghan and I are having a real conversation. She doesn't seem like she hates me either. She even uses playful air quotes on the knuckling down. So what are you going to do about it, about Galway? I asked. You can still get 400 points, you know. Now that the class sizes are so small, maybe the teachers actually will be able to help us directly. She raises an eyebrow. You really think that? She says, sarcastically. Or are they going to put all their time into the girls who will make the school famous and look good? I don't know, I say, and I try to hand the leaf back to her. Slowly, Lily puts her thumb on her pointer finger into her mouth, like she's about to wolf whistle. Then she takes her finger out and pinches the leaf between them. The whole thing sizzles, and I let go quickly. As it falls to the ground, it burns, crumbles, folds in on itself. I'm done, Lily says simply, and you look about done too. I can even tell if she is talking to the leaf or to me. I say goodbye to Lily and take a detour to Fiona's house. I don't go inside. I rip out a page of my homework book or journal, and sit under her garden wall to write a note. Fiona, I'm sorry, there's no excuse for what I did, and I won't try to find out. I was so afraid of seeing stupid that I acted like a real dumb bitch. I'm now officially on a no doubtable bitch juice diet. I will sub the dumb bitch juice no longer. Love you forever. M. When I get home, I take a deep, big breath and walk into the kitchen. My parents are sitting with their chairs angled outward like people on a talk show. The dog is lying on the ground, flattened by the tense atmosphere. Hello, I say weakly. Sit down, Maeve, Mum says immediately, and I sit. The next 40 minutes are torture about the cheating, the call from Miss Harris, the fact I'm on thin ice already, and lastly, that I brought Fiona into it. Fiona, she says, with affection and reverence, who has such a big future planned. I'm so browbeaten by the day that I can't help but fight back. What? And I don't? Dad tries to be gentle. We are not saying you don't have a big future, just that you don't have one planned. We've hardly seen you in months because you spent so much time with your friends, Mum says, shaking her head. The fact that you would jeopardize Fiona's exams is unbelievable, Maeve. What has happened to you? Oh my God. I can feel the anger rising in my voice. I know it's a bad idea, but I feel powerless to stop it. Can't you accept that I'm in a system that is just not made for my type of brain? And that I got so sick of being lectured and patronized that I did something about it. I know what I did. It was wrong. I'm sorry, but I didn't like dump and drum of oil into the tea. Sorry, that sounds funny. I'm sorry, but I didn't like dump a drum of oil into my sea. Sorry. I wasn't just randomly acting out. This is what people do when you set them up for failure. There's a pause then, and for a second I think they understand me. Well, Mum says, if you are quite finished with the melodramatic speeches, I sink lower in my chair. The thing is, May, Dad says, you don't or didn't just do this to do better at school. You just wanted to stick close to Fiona, didn't you? I don't answer. I look at my feet instead. Why does Dad always have to sound like a hostage negotiator? We are so happy that you have such Close bonds with your friends, he continues, all softly, like I have a gun. But perhaps you are a bit too bound up with them at the moment. I feel like it's all a bit too tight, too intense. Again, I don't answer. Instead, I burrow into each of their minds, one by one. Mum, one more year, just one more bloody year of school. Dad, at least she's not so lonely anymore. Dad's thought is the one that kills me. I remember the loneliness of last year. No real friends, no gang, versus the endless joy of summer. You are grounded, obviously, for everything except school, Mum says, and no more definition on the weekends. That's the shop. I nod. I sort of knew this was coming. Can I go now? Yes. I trudged upstairs and decide I'm going to cast a spell. There are witches there are witches. Two different types, in other words, that's what she means. There are spells and there are spells. Some spells are meant for changing the world, and some spells are just to make you feel less miserable, less helpless. I get on my knees in the bathroom and start concocting. I craft a spell to make myself less of an arsehole. There is a little case that lives under my bed, essential oils and dried herbs and that kind of thing. I take it out, a bottle of sandalwood for banishing negativity, some sprigs of thyme for cleansing bad vibes, almond oil for sweetness. I deal the devil the 7 of swords, and that's the tarot cards. So she pulls the devil, the 7 of swords and the high priestess, and lay a piece of toilet paper on top of each one. Help me get rid of my bad habits. 1 drop on the sandalwood for the devil. The oil splashes on the tissue and making his face visible. Forgive me for deception. I sprig the thyme for 7 of swords. Forgive me for deception. A drop of almond oil for the priestess. Give me a little more foresight, please. The candles burn down in the bedroom and I put myself into a yoga people call a child's pose. My face resting on the floor. The tiles feel cool on my forehead and the room starts to feel spicy, like magic, like forgiveness. And that's the end of that chapter 12. Thank you.